Hi, welcome people to a proper Drivel Draw. We have not been able to do a proper one since we... Tonight, we will actually be drawing some pages of Witchin', which is our latest comic series available on Webtoons, Tapas, DeviantArt, and eventually some other sites. We're doing it mainly as a series that I really just have fun doing. But on top of that, we're going to be talking about and looking at some of the creepiest costumes ever made for Halloween that is recorded. Because I'm sure there's some that haven't been done. But let's get on to the art. Okay. I actually need to get my pen up. Alright. So I'd state first and foremost, I think the creepiest costumes in my day are all from one brand. I don't remember the exact name of the brand, but it was these plastic-based, hard plastic, to costumes that you'd wear, usually of cartoon characters of the time. Now, mind you, they were of the 80s, so there's different characters that people wore. And they always had this sort of slit at the mouth and a little spot on the eyes, too. But they were always hard as hell to properly look through because they didn't really fit to the eyes. And while the mouth fit, you always cut yourself on the damn tongue when you try to talk through the damn mask. It was just so annoying, and at the same time, many of them are creepy, and we will be seeing some of those as we go. This is going to be page... I don't know what this is on. This will be page 10 of the next episode, or next issue of Witchin' on display. And I'm just trying to pull up my layers here. I'm going to do some extra layers. And I apologize, I got a little bit of a cold, I think. I might sneeze, I might cough, and you're definitely going to hear me sniffle. But we'll do what we can. One of the key things I just did is to make a blue line. So a lot of people, when they draw, they have their own way, their own styles. And that just not only includes when they're making the comic, but how you go about making the comic. So I tend to do a couple of different things. This one's going to be fairly simple to set up the gutters, because the scene is broken down in multiple, basically rectangles, and it's going to be a switching of theme, so we're going to be something new and different. A small focus from where the story currently is. So if you've read chapter 3, we are in the witch-themed restaurant called Wands. And the scene is going to change to the Wansdale Manor for a little preview of what's going to come next and down in the line stories, at least in starting around chapter 5 or 6. No, not 5. 6 or 7, somewhere around there. This being chapter 4 we're drawing. It's been an enjoyable series to draw, as well as sort of write along the way. But it's also been a challenge to kind of get all these out in a month. At At one time, I used to do Demon Blade, a full issue a month. That's when I was doing 24 pages of Demon Blade a week or a month. And that was a challenge. Not the worst challenge, but the other challenge was with Demon Blade 0 chapter. Which was done, written, drawn, and published in 1 week. 16 pages. Not a very fun thing to do. It's basically the mangaka challenge. It's a lot of work to get it done. And even then, I mean, it was stressful. I had to spend days and nights working on it. I think I didn't sleep for 3 nights while I was doing it. I was off of work for the entire week. And when I came back, I had done that, published it to DeviantArt, and I think also to 1 or 2 other comic sites at the time that are no more. So the comic sites don't exist anymore. One of which is what Pappas came out of, which was Ink Blasters. Which was an enjoyable site. I enjoyed it. Pappas and webtoons they have problems. And their main problems are based on what they kind of put to the forefront. Webtoons more so, a lot of Korean anime or manga. And because, yeah, they're large groups that can produce them and put them out. But at the same time, it's all so similar. It really is. I can only read 1 or 2 chapters of a few of them. And it's like, oh, well, you're going this route with the story, and we're going to have these the offbeat parts come into the play. I tend to also not kind of cooperating a bit. Lately, it's giving me these gaps when I draw. So the character I'm drawing right now is our main character, Ida. Also known as Theodore Webwood. Theodore Webwood and Ida Wansdale. Same character. Basically, the story goes is the main character wants to continue to learn magic. Learn it in a new way, find new magics after they've basically graduated from Witch Academy. Witch Wizard, Mage Academy, I believe is how I read it. And in order to do that, they came up with the idea they needed to go to the human world, or human realm, and basically go to college. And it's the first witch to go through college. And their father didn't like it, so they went into a disguise as Ida. And it's a little bit of a story of finding yourself, and comedy, and a little bit of romance come into play, but a lot of more comedy than romance. And I've drawn her so much over the last year. We literally designed her on stream about a year ago. And we did it from scratch. And now I've been drawing her so much over the past year, it's kind of instinctual on how she looks. And the first few chapters here don't even have Ida's final look. Although I will be changing outfits, and like I do with Demon Blade, I change characters' outfits, maybe change their hair now and then. the same outfit, or people don't stay in the outfit. In anime, a lot of characters stay in the same outfit. Which is kind of dumb, because a lot of the manga, they'll go through and draw a new outfit. But mostly the girls, it's the guys don't really ever seem to wear much different than what they start out in. Trying to draw this. He's biting into a club sandwich, so it's kind of important to draw the bread right. And I'm trying to think about it in my head how to draw the bread. So we're giving our fingers, we're going to be coming up as we draw it. Nope. You can get skinnier, it's better. Alright. Do a little bit off. And we'll have her pinky down. Double bacon club is what we established in the last chapter. Is what Ida is wanting. Because one of the issues with her new boss, which Esmeralda, who owns the restaurant and started it, he has the ability to use perception, magic, and predict basically what a person wants in their meal. And that's how the secret sort of dropped a bomb at the end of last chapter, where Ida's secret came out to her new roommate and her boss. Actually, yeah, let's draw this pinky. It's looking weird. I'll draw a pinky here. But one thing I definitely do different than most, I don't sketch out every little detail all the time. I do one sometimes, when I do a comic. But there are certain things, like the sandwich here, and I'm going to kind of redo the interior of the sandwich. Make it crushed. And I do clean up the fingers and everything. There we go. So, as I stated, on this show, we talk about a subject. So, I grew up in the 70s, 80s as a kid. Well, 80s. I was born in the 70s, but I don't remember the 1 year I had before it was the 80s. And I don't really remember much until mid 1981. Because, hey, I was a daddy. But yeah, costumes back in the 80s probably were a little weird to standards nowadays. Making that bread is way too loud. Let's do lettuce, a little meat here, bread, another layer of bacon, another layer of lettuce. But yeah, I mean, when I grew up, it was, I would say trick-or-treating was a bit more heavily in the neighborhood. I think the threat of Candyman already occurred at the date. The true Candyman story, which is based on the horror movies are lightly based on, was a father that killed his own son. He intentionally did it with a poisoned pixie stick. And because of that, parents panicked back in the 80s. You couldn't have Halloween candy without people looking at it, being worried that, oh no, it could have something dangerous in my child's food. And they always put like the same image out in the newspapers those days, which was like an apple with a razor blade. And it's like, seriously, you can't tell there's a razor blade in that apple? I mean, it's sticking out. Like, mostly out. And by the way, who gets freaking apples? I remember the worst place back in my days, because we'd go through the neighborhood, get our treats, and one couple was the dentist. You know, you always find that one house with a dentist. And they didn't give us toothbrushes. They gave us like 4 pennies. 4 pennies. So yeah, joy. I can't even buy a piece of candy at the time with 4 pennies. Candy was 5 cents, not 4. Now mind you, that was something that I don't think 7-Elevens do anymore. Back in the 80s, early 90s, you had a choice of what was basically called the penny candy batch. That was your Bazooka Joe, bubblegum, a few of the Tootsie Rolls, the little tiny ones, and 1 or 2 other kind of candies you'd find here and there. And yeah, you just got this kind of not very good candy. Not to say Tootsie Rolls aren't good, but when you're a kid, you didn't give a damn. You're like, ooh, I can get some candy for 5 cents. Heck yeah. So, that's, you know, the 4 cents at the dentist house is just suck. Just suck. The man just wanted to be a total dick to the kids. I think most of us just threw the pennies right back at his door as hard as we could. Because, I mean, come on, we're kids. We want rotting your teeth out candy. I can't say I don't want that candy. But, you know, boy, I'm an adult. I know to have a much healthier diet, albeit as best as I can these days. But yeah, doing some of those creepy costumes, and what we're gonna do is basically every 15 minutes we will stop and do an internet elements. I don't know why the eyelash is giving me so much trouble here. There we go. I think I'm doing this on the wrong layer too, because I don't want it on my gutter layer. Sometimes I go into more detail with the drawing if I pull up one of the other pieces I'm working on. Not so much Witchin, because Witchin, I just purposely designed it to be a simplistic comic drawing series, because it's just something I wanted to be able to be like, okay, I can get this done in about 2 hours of drawing on this page. Maybe a little bit longer if I have to do something more detailed in the scene, but it's 2 hours. I knock out about 2 panels out an hour. And that's on comic that I fully understand. If I do a commission, I may take a lot longer because I don't know that character. I don't draw that character right now. And then we have our sponsor comics. And those I draw on the regular, depending on what the subject is. Gosh, there's still a problem. I also apologize if you're hearing my stomach. It's been a weird stomach day for me. But we're streaming nonetheless because I haven't been able to do an art stream in a while. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking how our girl here, Abigail, is looking. I want to kind of do a better pose for her. So we're going to erase her. Maybe work on a better sketch with her. And, yeah, Eva's not very good there. So we'll do a more detailed drawing here. So I definitely want Abigail to look a bit different in this pose. More lively, less stiff. I think Edith's fine, we just need to work a bit better on her look here. We're just doing a real quick sketching of the scene. Drawing someone with like their mouth full of food, always an interesting little thing to draw. Most artists won't even do something like this in a comic, but I mean, it's always neat. And sometimes you get some pretty comedic poses and looks on people's faces as they bite into something. Got her little talisman that she wears on her head. Do her eyelashes. And she needs to have her different size bangs, or set up bangs on the side. And probably need to add a little bit of her hair flaring out. Let's do, now let's get her neck out. I do like putting the arm down a little bit, and sort of leaning on it. Let's have her neck up. And giving her a little bit of side eye. Alright, actually she's laughing in the scene, so never mind. I think yeah, being a character of complete chaos. Okay, we've already been over our 15, so let's cover a little bit of our story, or costume at the end of issue, and let me show you probably anime's most cursed mask. Ladies and gentlemen, Ash Ketchum. Oh my god. Look at this face. I can't believe somebody put out the idea to do this. I mean, decently represented Ash face. And it had these huge cold, not really on the eyes, but like partially off. And this is what I mean. This is this damn little mouth slit right here. You cut your tongue on that crap. Come on. Don't be doing that no more. This is horrible. If I saw a kid coming up with this, I'd scream. I'd be more scared of this than the Scream mask. Alright? I see somebody walking around like Jason, dressed like Jason, carrying an actual chainsaw. Come on. This is more scary. Put this on Jason. Holy crap. So, I mean, I didn't really have much to say about this. This is the terrifying Ash Ketchum. This came out in 2019. And yeah, it's just terrifying. It's just terrifying. We'll hit some of the vintage ones later. Well, crap, did I close I closed another one, let's see. We'll hit the vintage in a little bit later. But we'll hit one of our weird stories. So, go into the AP, and the Phillies, the baseball game, I guess? I think the Philadelphia Phillies is a baseball team. Sorry if I don't pay attention to sports. But yeah, the Phillies denied an emotional support alligator from entering the baseball park. I just want to know. One, where the heck are you getting an alligator in Philadelphia? Or in Pennsylvania? Even with that. Where? Honestly. Alligators, I'm in Virginia. We don't get alligators. They're down below us towards the southern end of North Carolina to down to South Carolina, the closest. Bumblebox, hello. Hey, thank you for joining. But yeah. So, the alligator was named Wally Gator. Was denied entrance to watch the Philadelphia host Pittsburgh. It's an all Pennsylvania team sport. Leash and harness. Owned by Joey Haney of Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Where did you get an alligator? It states, guide dogs, service animals, or service animals in training are welcome. All other animals are prohibited. So, yeah. No emotional support alligators for us. I mean, if it's tame, I don't know how big it is, because they don't really post it, but my god, I know I've seen what they eat in like zoos and other references of them. My god, the food bill on that. Just alone, you're going to be having to clean out the grocery stores of chicken just to feed your gator. What's wrong with people? Nah, this isn't really what is wrong. It's more what's crazy enough to have as a house pet. Me, I'm gonna skip out on the gator. Don't do anything in the reptile department. But yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I'm disturbed by it. But, yeah, no, I understand why Philly would have a problem with it. But, I mean, I'd just be more impressed on how he got a gator in Philadelphia to begin with. Let's see, can I do a slam hand? I think I was doing one before. I don't want to put her. So the dishes, because I wanted to make a menu a little bit, and I'm still working on it, of a menu that this witch-themed restaurant would have in the series. So we got broomstick fries and a cauldron of the jambalaya nachos. I trying to think of some unique things. Of course, a sandwich. But I mean, there's other foods that I want to put in here. It's like I need to make the gimmicky scenario for a food that doesn't exist in a restaurant. Doesn't exist. Not really, food that doesn't exist, because there is an element of realism, but an element of weirdness as well in Witchin' versus other comics. Like, well, when I do Demon Blade, there might be weirdness with characters. They still exist in somewhat of a real world. So, Witchin's a little bit different. Their world is divided between magic users and non-magic users. So, a little bit different for the way that they might have something weird that they add to the list. Definitely will have something like ghost chili on the Witchin' menu, I guess. I'll have to think about it. I mean, I'll probably make a list over time and be like, alright, these are the recipes for these foods. And just be like, ooh, chili. Ooh. Some nachos that are Cajun or jambalaya flavored nachos. Ooh. Sort of mixing Cajun with, Mexican there. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's some I wouldn't even be able to eat on myself to try. Based off of my limited food amount or food I can eat. But yeah. I think I'm gonna take a quick break though, because I'm having a little bit of stomach issues. And I'll be right back. So we're gonna take a moment to see here. Yeah. Stomach issues. Lovely. And I get to live with them all my life. Yeah. But hey, we can do it. We can live. Alright, I mean, these days, costumes have gone creepy in another way. You know, most of the costumes kind of just creepy as how far can they reach with the sexiest type costume and what they make into a sexy costume. I mean, last year we had sexy sriracha bottle. I love sriracha, but seriously, I don't need to see or be seen wearing sexy sriracha bottle. Because I don't find it sexy. I find it incredibly dumb. So, I mean, maybe, you know, the time of the quote sexy costumes needs to come to an end. I mean, they started probably in the early 90s. And each year they've tried to top themselves. And then, I mean, you get to the knockoffs, which are downright horrible on how they try to not put out an unlicensed comic or costume and just be like, no, that's not Mario. That's video game guy. That's an actual costume. Video game guy. We can pull him up on the internet in a minute here. My hand dirty a little bit. There we go. But yeah. We're gonna do a little bit of a knuckle. Bring this on up. So yeah, because it was getting near October, I came up with the idea about a year ago? A little before now, because at this point, I was homeless. That's why we've been having some technical difficulties. I'm trying to bring everything back online with new setup. And it's just taking time. The reason why we didn't do Dining and Doodles past weekend, was literally program you're now seeing me able to display this was not working. Even though we paid 2 days before, we could not get it to work until yesterday, I believe. And it was just so infuriating. So, at least we got it fixed. We're able to do art streams again. It means Dining and Doodles will be back Saturday. For those who don't know, Dining and Doodles is where we turn around and we draw a requested drawing in about 2 hours. We try to keep it to a certain numbers of statistics of what we put into the drawing. Not statistics, but stuff we put in. But sometimes that just doesn't work out. And we end up with essentially, well, I mean, you complete them all the time, but it's not always appreciated by the person in request. They may have something that they preferred out of it, and we have a timer in place for it. Simply because we've had people watching the stream as we draw it, and make the requests changes and elements to that changes throughout the stream. And it's just like, okay, we can only do but so much in our time. We'll put a tomato right here. Trying to do as much as I can. I might do a dribble of like mustard or mayo. I think mustard. I really don't. I really have lost a love of mayo because of two really bad experiences this past year. Both involving food bank, giving me food that was rancid. If you're gonna give food to the homeless, make sure they can actually eat it. Don't give out rancid mayo. And I mean, yeah, I had 2 food poisonings, both because of mayonnaise. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all. And I had actually I had 3 food poisonings. 1 from Walmart. I had a Walmart hot dog and I lived to regret it. Yes, I was the person stupid enough to buy a Walmart hot dog. It was Nathan. But I guess they left it sitting out too long and never took it off. And I was stupid enough to buy it. And I regretted it. And so did my pants. And my mouth. I'm gonna kind of lower her flat bang, which is on the left. I do more of the spiky bang on the right. Actually, I'd say it's the reverse way. On her right, my left. When I draw her, Ida would have this flat bang on the right, and on her left it would be the spikes. And I mean, it comes into designing the character. Like I said, we designed her live on stream, and about a year ago. But she's a bitch. I might pull up a picture in a minute that we had the results from the dining table back last September. Not this September, but 2021. Or 22. Not 21. Oh, shit. I want to get rid of a mark I made. There we go. Overall, I mean, Witching has been a fun series to draw and a little bit of write for. I know where the story's going and story beats that I gotta hit, but there are a few chapters I don't have written. But I know exactly where the story's going, so. During the first part, it's mainly introducing characters, getting to know Ida a little bit better, and other characters like Abigail, who is her roommate, and is just an element of chaos. That's the best way to put Abigail. And, I mean, I think it's the first time I have a real chaotic character. Mine's chaotic in Demon Blade, but she has her reasonings, and it's pretty well known on how I'm the right Mai in a scene. Either based on her stomach, her wanting to fight somebody, or her hatred for having to do school stuff. Or other people that she might hate. So, which is why in the current chapter 9, Mai is none too happy with the character Ruth when she first meets her, because, well, the reincarnated body of one of the people that stole her heart. So, and I mean in a literal sense, they stole her heart. And one of the more annoying things you can kind of see here, I got Ida, and this is her boss, Esme. Well, soon to be boss at this point in the comic, that they haven't really come to full terms of the event, which is what this issue is about. Mostly. It's about Ida getting the approval of her future boss and her roommate. Let her stay, and so she can learn about the world a little bit better, and they'd help her out, at least keeping the secret. Because Ida is not the brightest bulb, despite being very good at magic, they can't see what they're doing as consequences. And it's kind of written that way. It's kind of her personality as a character. She kind of just rushes into things head on and deals with the consequences later. And I keep hitting the wrong spot here. That one, pretty much. There we go. But yeah, that's why we saw in chapter 2, because chapter 1 was building up the excitement of Ida. Chapter 2 was showing that she's a bit of a flake. She doesn't have a good sense of direction. She didn't think through what was going to happen when she got to college, where she was going to be staying, and people taking advantage of her, namely the dean of the school. So, because of that, Ida kind of puts themselves in problematic situations. Some of the colors I use for Ida, it's a little more. I'll see that. That's a preview of the comic, commission comic that I'm working on. But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger there. But Ida is sort of that bright personality that you want to love, but at the same time, you know they're going to land in trouble somehow. And that's who I wanted for a main character. The one that would find trouble. And I state a lot often, a lot of the characters will take on a personality of me. This is very much Ida. Me and Ida's personality is pretty true. I will take on tasks that I probably shouldn't. And overload myself and do too much that I can't handle. And I'm learning to adjust to that, to be accepting of, I'm going to have to say no to things. But, I mean, that's how I want to make this character, and That's a very bad trait of me. Now, I do have a good sense of direction, so I am not Ida that way. But, yeah. I do love to learn, and I do exert myself. Often when I have these days where I might have, say, stream delayed on techniques, more than likely, I've overexerted myself. Be it with my stomach issues or something else. I'll not show the eyelash through hair. But I do want to show some food, so we need to. And I do love club sandwich, which Ida was found by her boss to be wanting in this moment. Abigail, I don't share much with Abigail. Maybe some of her later characteristics that I don't want to go into at the moment, because it's more her story-wise through the later part of the story. So I kind of want to keep that hidden away. But yeah. Let's do another story. Let's go. Come on, internet. Pop it up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we talked about the emotional support alligator. But we have something with Danes, particularly a Danish artist, who submitted empty frames as artwork, appealing the court ruling to repay the cash. So, this is not unheard of, believe it or not. Artists trying to pull away or pull out some crap. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Basically, to get money. Scam people out of money. There's one I like particularly that I don't know why it's still in the National Museum at DC, but if you go down to the cafeteria floor, you get to the modern art that they have in the National Art Museum. On one wall are 3 blank canvases. That's it. Just white canvas. Nothing else. And it's a National Art Museum worthy painting. Or installment. Yeah. 3 total blank canvases. I mean, who sold the National Museum into that? I mean, that person had to be a genius. Like, what's this art say? The brilliance of man, the creativity, blah, 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 blah. And in all actuality, it was like, I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna do anything. Let me sell these 3 canvases to the museum. And they did it. They bought it. And the guy got away with it. So, seeing a Denmark artist do this is not unusual. A Danish artist who's given a pile of money by the museum in which to create a piece of artwork submitted 2 empty canvases titled, "Take the Money and Run." Okay, alright. You're pushing it a little too much to title it, "Take the Money and Run." Alright. Seriously. Jens Hanning was given an equivalent of $84,000 in Danish kroner, euro banknotes, by the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art in Aalborg. I don't know where Aalborg is, but I'm guessing Denmark. So, for For his exhibition on the labor conditions and money, entitled Work It Out, that opened September 24th, the museum commissioned him to recreate two of his earlier pieces, which featured banknotes attached to canvases, representing the annual or average annual wage in Denmark and Austria. As well as lending him the notes, the museum also paid him 25,000 kroner, or $3,900 for the work. So, the money they gave, the 84,000, only nearly 4,000 of that was for him? The rest was to go on a freaking paintings? Dude, I'd be pissed off at him too. Bastard, stole the money. But when the museum officials received the completed artworks, they were blank. The artwork is that I have taken the money, Hanning told the radio show on P1 channel, the part of the Danish broadcaster DR this week. He declined to say where the money was. He went out and spent it, I bet you. Hanning, who's known as a provocator, said the artwork represented his current work situation. I encourage others who have just as miserable working conditions as I do, the same. Hanning told P1, if they were being asked to give the money to go to work, and then take the money and run, the museum says Hanning has broken the agreement on the low use or on how to use the money. However, it has not yet decided on whether or not to report Hanning to the police if the money is not returned before the expedition ends in January. Seriously? You're giving him till the end of the expedition? To bring back the money? He's not coming back, man. He stole it. He's out there. He's gone. He's probably spent it by now. Hanning, however, denies committing the crime and insists that he did produce a work of art. No. You've produced two blank canvases. And then said, the art title piece is take the money and run. Dude. It's genius, but you can't keep pulling the same trick. Come on, man. It's not theft, it's a breach of contract. And the breach of contract is part of the work, Hanning told P1. He was not reachable for comment on Wednesday. No crap, he probably left the country. He took the money, and just like he titled it, taking that money and going. Same old song and dance for several years now. Alright, let's look at some vintage costumes. I'm gonna try and blow this up if I can. Oh, well, no. Here, let's see. See if I can expand this. Come on. Let's see. I'm gonna press the zoom in button. Not remembering here. Oh, no, hold on. Nope. Okay. The gallery. And of course, can I not get a full screenshot of this? Do I literally have to go that low? Alright. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna try and increase this till we can get it. Get rid of this freaking ad if we can. There. Okay. So, we have Fly on a Bicycle. Dude has just stuck some branches. You can see he's got his jeans on. And put a bag with, like, I don't know what that is. Some sort of hose? Not near pardon me. What's the lot? Coke? Okay. But yeah, it's weird, but it's not terrifying. Now these are weird, but these are kind of along the mask that we're talking about, and kind of like the one we showed of Ash earlier. I mean, the Colonel's weird. Why would you want a mask of the Colonel from KFC? Seriously? Why the Colonel? Colonel's an old, fat, white man from the South. I say that as an old, fat, white girl from the South. Okay, I'm not disturbed by the costume here. I'm disturbed by the mask here. It looks like he's carrying a head. And he's got this weird pail with a pig on it. The headed jester. Okay, now we're getting into really creepy terror. Sorry here. What the hell are these masks? This is supposed to be a jester. These are not jester costumes. Right here. And I don't know what the heck this is. And this is. What is that? It's. I don't freaking know. Hold on a second. Okay, I see something. It looks like the jester's eyes down on his lip. Because here's an eye dot here. But there's a dot down here on the lip. What the hell? Okay. This is just a really bad costume. I do remember these. Okay. In the 80s costumes, I told you about the masks, but I didn't tell you about the plastic damn suits. They were made out of the same material as garbage bags. And you went around wearing it. It was like some horribly printed type of a costume with this garbage bag material. And you normally, I mean, at least around here in Virginia, where it does get cold in the sort of maybe late October when Halloween occurs. It does kind of get cold. You tend to wear some clothes and even a jacket sometimes over the damn costume. So it didn't really matter. Maybe in southern places where it was a nicer temps, they would be able to do it without covering it in a jacket, but October 31st in Virginia, at least, you're talking about 40s, probably for the nighttime temp. I mean, we're already hitting the 40s here, and it's the beginning of October, so we might even hit the 30s this Halloween. I don't know. I mean, our weather is so freaking erratic. We'll be 90 one day and then 40 the next. But, okay. These are supposed to be rabbits. These remind me of the Tingle costumes in Zelda. Oh my god. They're horrible. Those are horrible rabbit ears. And they're all rabbits. Okay, the rabbit ears look specifically like devil horns. Yes. Yes, they all look like devil horns. Damn, that's some scary stuff. That is the horrible costume decision. Okay, this one was the one above. What the hell are they? I mean, they look like clowns, but fat old lady clowns because they got weird hair and a hat, and they're wearing these all yellow onesies. Yeah. Oh, I know the first costume I wore was a hand-stitched Bugs Bunny costume, and my brother first wore a clown costume, and they were creepy but they're not nothing this creepy. This is just mind-numbing. Why would you have your kid dressed like this? And this has got to be the 70s to 80s? Right around that 1980, 1970 period? When I grew up? And, oh my god, it's terrifying. Okay, yeah. So these are the same costumes. My brother wore something similar to these. They're sort of the Pavarti clown. If you don't know the tale of Pavarti, the sad clown, it's a famous opera with this sort of pointy hat clown look that they used to have back in the 20s. And I'm guessing this probably is a costume not too far from there. I'd say 20s to 40s. I don't even think the 50s would have this. Maybe a few parents who couldn't afford a costume for the kid, that would make it. Maybe. But, yeah, and then there's this one kid here. Actually, no, maybe two. I can't tell if she's also a devil. This kid's definitely a devil. Because they got the horns right here. It looks like there's horns here for this one. But if they're trying to say she's a clown, I don't know too many clowns that had horns. I mean, I know a lot of people are scared of clowns. It's one of the top fears of the world. But, I mean, yeah, a clown with horns? Maybe. Ah. Chewy. This poor kid is probably sweltering in this costume. And you can tell the mask is not fitting right. Because their eyes are like down here. But the slits are up here. This was a tripping hazard. Absolutely. Couldn't see where you're going. You're gonna fall, smash your face in, and have to get back up and do it again. Guarantee you, during the trick-or-treat, this kid has the hat, the mask off, because there's no way they're seeing it. Last one for now. Nightmare of Geisha. Okay. This is not even a geisha. I don't know what this is. I mean, it's obviously racist. Because a geisha would not look anything like that. And you wouldn't put a freaking pagoda on their head. What the hell? Strange. Oh my god, this is weird. Alright, let's back to the heart. Okay. So many, I admit, we've had some racist costumes in my childhood. But, I mean, there's no denying it. I was born in the South. I was born and raised in the capital of the Confederacy, as it was known during the Civil War. And still live here. Oh my god. That last costume was racist as hell. I mean, I'm kind of glad we admit, you know, hey, some of these costumes, they're just a little too racist. A little too off. But some of them just, I question on how they even came to be. I have a question on the sexy costumes this year. Sexy sriracha. That's a fun thing to say. Sexy sriracha. But I mean, we do these shows to just bring some light in this world. I'm hoping some people are enjoying this while the world is slowly burning. So we just watching or looking at some dumb pictures of the past. fun comic. Just having some fun chat. I mean, I'm always open to suggestions for people that they may want to see us talk about in the future. There's a few that we'll talk about that I have lined up, but subjects-wise, including one for later in this month. I'll give you a hint. It involves a haunting. And I am very skeptic when it comes to ghosts and whatnot. But I may have a haunted apartment. I don't know yet. I haven't fully understood it, but we'll go over it one time in the future. That'll definitely be a subject for one day. This month, another Drivel Draw later this month. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some subjects I want to touch upon. We're going to talk about, there'll be one that's a really serious subject. That I'll be talking about my attack, where I became a victim. But that has to wait until court's done. And court hadn't even started. We haven't even started the prep work, to my knowledge, if it's even happening. So that has to wait until legal issues are taken care of. But, I mean, there are many other things I can talk about. Last time, of course, we talked about me witnessing a vehicular homicide, where luckily the person survived, but they are not going to walk again. Not properly, at least. Because the poor person got run over by a bunch of two old ladies coming out of Walmart at 8 in the morning. And yeah, those ladies had to be drunk as hell, or I keep going to this condition. I don't want to show it. Because I haven't even shown it to the commissioner yet. What I've done. But yeah, I mean, they could have been high. They could have just been racist. But, and the reason I say that is because it was a Hispanic couple that got hit. Whereas the old ladies were two old white women. And the way they drove about, they must have some intention. So, but we covered that last time. This time we're just talking about silly, creepy costumes, and I guess the sexy ones as well. Maybe I'll pull up a list of the weird costumes coming out this year or something later. One of the things when you do a comic, kind of like this, it helps to learn a sort of a color palette for your characters. Ida's very much, she's got her teal hair, pink eyes, usually wearing a pink top or something. I might change it around now and then. And tends to wear girly but impressive outfits. While her roommate is more of a bit of a tomboy. Abigail, even though I introduced her hanging from the ceiling, wearing a sort of tutu. I don't know why I went right there. Let's do the red here for commanding them. But Ida's are very much similar along the lines of my off of Demon Blade. Mai's are pink. Thought I had the right color. There we go. Mai's pink and green with her blue hair and yellow eyes. Although Demon Blade is black and white. So a lot of the color you guys don't get to see except when I do it as a color spread for the series. See if I can pull up. Okay, I do have. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the page I've selected, or I've got to do this week. But yeah, I mean, oh, it's not gonna let me now. I'll open one of the older pages if I can. Let's see. For it to load. Come on. There we go. So this is one of the opening pages of this chapter. There was a lot of elements I had to portray in the beginning of this. One here is, try and use the mouth. Well, I can't really use the mouth. Okay. And the fire here that we see here gets frozen slowly. In a black and white, sort of gray tone is what Demon Blade is. Kind of hard to portray, but when I draw it, I'm actually doing it in color. It's done in black and white and grays, but I'm using the colors they use when I do a color spread. So my hair is still blue. The ice here would be, if I can do this. I wonder if I can just convert. No, I don't think I can convert color. But there was elements here that are very hard to show once I zoom in. They're trees. Given it's being hidden by a mystery woman, I don't want to give her name. Because she'll be explained much further in the series. But I wanted to have these trees burned. Their limbs and all that. Because you're talking, this incident occurred in January of 1706. I used that specific date for a reason. Just as well as the current story, as this chapter goes on to 1704 and 1705, which is where it's currently at in the story. All in different parts of Japan. Mainly because that's how I wrote the story, but also I based in elements of it based off in historic events. And so I wanted to make sure I gave the characters enough time to be able to travel to those places within reason. And so having them in Hokkaido, even if it's lower Hokkaido, in 1706, the area other than a few Ainu encampments, most of Hokkaido would be uninhabited. It would be just this frozen wasteland. So to have this moment here of Mai and this strange character, while Tetsu looks on sort of in a dream state. Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's because sort of the details I need to do, and we even have Tetsu's room here fall out. The character falls out of his bed, and there's the window to this room. I sort of designed it. Let me see how it goes. The witching page I'm working on, and I'll try and draw it out. So, and let's do a new page. So if I draw a scene, I tend to try to pay attention to how a room is laid out or whatnot. So with Tetsu's room, I have it set up. There's a Wolf of Wall Street poster right here. Tetsu's bed. on this wall, we have a window that goes like this. It's just sort of two-pane, and a desk over here. If I flip the room around, sort of show the wall that you're kind of looking in towards there, it'd be a closet. So it'd be a large sort of two-door closet here. I believe there's some more posters here. And then we have Tetsu's door, which has stickers on it. Signs. I think there's a dresser over here. So, I mean, when you create a scene, when you create an atmosphere, and I'm kind of doing that in Witching here on the page we're drawing. The lower half here is the opening door to the Lonsdale Manor. So I wanted something grand, so we're going to have a character be introduced opening up these huge doors, side by side, and then columns lined up here. So it gives a sense of grandness. I could go bigger. I could make the character like, let's see if I can get a sketch here. Okay, and I could have made the character like that big, opening the door. But I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit normal here, because I'm going to do something silly on the next page with it. So, take the perception of these huge doors, this grand place, and then play off of it as a joke down the line. So, I mean, with a joke, particularly in a comic, you kind of want to know the timing of when to tell the punchline. So, I mean, you could keep going on and on without ever hitting a punchline, and it's going to fly by the reader. So you need to be able to know when in your timing to hit a punchline. And sometimes, I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but I mean, I do it enough to kind of know when I feel the appropriate time is for the punchline. But I understand some people might not find it funny, and the joke might land flat, whatever. But I mean, you get used to it as you draw more and more. Trying to come up with a good color for bacon here. It's not matching the bread. Trying to go orangey to red. Oh, layer. Oh, and reselect. Alright. So let's do some bacon strips. Do the lettuce. Lettuce tends to be about this color. I'm not going into super detail in this image. There is an image where I'm going to show the food a little bit. And I'm going to have to go in a little bit more detail. Particularly since I'm designing the nachos the way I want them to be. Let's do some blob. Let's do it. Turkey. Color. No? A lot of... That's one thing I don't like about doing this on the iPad. Well, pick one of two things. Is it's really hard to sometimes get the marks I want done or color in certain, because the iPad has issues. I'm trying to do, alright, let's lower this tip. Alright. it kind of gets frustrating. The other thing is I have to keep going to another page to get the color. So I have a uniform color for a character and not have to keep going to something different. Here's going to be a piece of ham. Let's throw another tomato in there. Nope. No. So I'm just going with basics of the color scheme for making a club sandwich, which typically your average club sandwich is ham, turkey, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and bacon with 3 slices of bread. So we're kind of drawing that. We're getting our bacon, we're getting our lettuce. Occasionally we'll see the meat. More than likely you'll see the lettuce and the bacon hanging out. Maybe a little bit of the tomato, which is what we're showing. And hints of the meat inside. I don't like that color ham now, I think about it. Let's go with this color. Oh, shoot. Get off that. Do the ham there. And cancel that. I don't want the dot. Yeah. And a little bit more tomato in here. Let's go ahead and make this a full tomato here. No, I'm still using the smaller tip, but oh well. So, we're at 8:30. Let's look at some more of these creepy ass costumes from the past before we get to drawing Abigail. This was our last creepy one. The geisha, they call, which it's not a geisha. It's some sort of horrid picture. Okay. A question? I guess they're a witch? And I don't know what the heck this kid's trying to be. I mean, it kind of looks like a soldier uniform. But why the mask? What the heck? Seriously weird. Okay. Alright. These are the costumes I remember as a child. The trash bag sort of covering. You can kind of see the kid in the back doing the same. Oh my god, it's worse. They put the creepy face of this clown on the freaking body? What the hell? And this, I don't, I'm trying to see what this is. If I can zoom in. Oh no, it's not gonna let me. It's gonna ask me for search instead of zoom. No. No. Of course it's not gonna let me zoom. Yeah, it's really creepy. Maybe this one. This one's the creepy part. Yeah, it says clown creeping up on you. This is all kind of creepy. 60760. Hey, thank you for joining. Okay, it's Groucho Marx kid. And just like a old wife in a bathrobe? I don't call this creepy. This is just the bad choices of costume when you're poor as a child. I mean, the Groucho Marx glasses have been around since Groucho Marx was a thing. So, we can go with that. Okay. Rainbow Bright. I remember this very much as a child. Yeah. Look over the eyes. The eyes of the hair. Why? Why the hair? At least this kid can see through this costume. This is almost as bad as Peter's costume. Oh my god. And we got our trash can sort of cover that you just threw over. These costumes suck. Yes. Cheese, the dancing, bell ringing, hey, thanks. Alright, let's see here. Number 15. Look into your soul. I don't see what's creepy about this. I really don't. I mean, it's hard to read. It's definitely a 50s to 40s photo. I can't tell what's supposed to be creepy about this. Okay. Alright. We have a typical ghost costume with the sheet with the eyes. But this is a racist costume. Right here. Oh my god. They say ape. That ain't an ape. That ain't an ape. That's a racist deflection. Oh my god. Oh my god. I apologize for the stream, but my god, man. That is a horrible costume choice. It's just a mask. They don't have anything else going with the mask. At least the ghost costume's a full costume. I'll wrap a Kapow, Dino Dancing, and the Rainbow Heart. Thank you for joining. Okay. Raggedy Ann costume. I can't tell. Is that supposed to be... I can't tell if this is an 80s or not. Because if it was the 80s, I could tell what that is a little bit, maybe. But I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like when the Thundercats came out in the 80s, you had, of course, the main cast. This kind of looks like Tiger. I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Tiger? In Thundercats? The most useless out of the adults and Thundercats. The dude with a whip. I mean, no one really cared about him. I don't know what the hell this is. It looks like a cat costume. Maybe. And it's clearly a Raggedy Ann. And this proves to the world why Annabelle's so scary. Because the real Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. And oh my god, is that so creepy? Which is, let's see, Eden's Zitch and Charme. We got a Fall Guys crown, purple heart, dog glasses. Looks like dog tongue heart? Dog and dog. I can't remember which the breeds are. It kind of looks like a Scotty. And that kind of looks like maybe like a Golden Doodle. As we look at this. I mean, this wouldn't be creepy if it weren't for the ears. So much. I mean, the blank stare is always on a Halloween costume these days. All the way since, you know, Halloween began with kids in costume to at least the turn of this century. The costumes always had those creepy dead-eyed stares. Two more before we go back to our art. Okay, so this is more. In fact, this looks like the same costume here. But we got, I can only guess, an Amish costume? Some sort of Boy Scout. I almost want to say Darth Vader, but it's before Vader. Illuminati from Windling here. And I don't even know. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Last one. Okay. I don't know what's scarier about this photo. The fact that it's overdeveloped, or the fact that this is definitely a cross between Ghost and KKK. I mean, oh my god. We've had some serious racist costumes already. Wow. King's Murder gives us 3 Fall Guys with crowns. Alright, we'll come back to more of these as we get back to the art of the night. Real quickly, I gotta get the page back up. Okay. So, we only really have one more thing to do with Ida here. And I gotta really scroll in to get this. Is her eyes. Her pink eyes. So, draw this. And as I said, I mean, the first costume I remember seeing pictures of me in, and that I had for a while, was a hand-stitched Bugs Bunny costume. It's just weird. Chest cult, looks like an Eevee cheering on a mushroom, a panda, and a duck suit, and a cat. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I am a fan of pandas and cats. Although I've heard pandas are kind of territorial if you actually get in a pen with them. They're not exactly gonna come up. It's not like they're gonna attack you, but they're gonna not get around you if you come into their territory. They're gonna flee. Let's work on Ida. Or I mean, Abigail here. We're doing same layer we're on. It should be, yep. Character layer. Draw. Arm. Going like that. Holding onto our cauldron of chips. And I based Abigail's face on some friends of mine, and even my stepmom a little bit, with the nachos, the bowl of nachos, eating the dinner. I mean, I have limited capability to eat these days, but even I don't know if I'd make a full meal off of nachos, unless they're like heavily loaded nachos. Wow, we got 11 viewers in our art stream for a change. Wow. So I kind of want to pull up the Ash costume again, because it's by far, even with the racist costume we've seen lately, the Ash costume, the Ash mask from Pokemon, still I think is probably the creepiest movie costume I've seen. Just that weird placement of the eyes and the very realistic look to Ash's face in a mask. It looks like something that you see in a murder movie, you know, a slasher. You'd expect the killer to come in wearing that mask. Try and do motion in the hand, but I don't know. We'll do what we can. It does take a lot of work to do a motion in a single panel, but I can do it. It's just not something I've prepared myself for the day to do. And like I said, Abigail's more of a tomboy, so she tends to tomboy and agent of chaos. So she tends to wear weird costumes, pants, and not so much flattering outfits. It's more Ida's route. And of course, we've already met Diana and Bridget. Bridget being the third friend, or well, second friend, for Ida, while Diana tends to be the rival in the comic. I mean, it's trying to come up with names. I mean, each of the friend/rival are based on, you know, story-based witches throughout the story. So Abigail is based off of a story-based witch. I believe she's actually based off of one of the Salem witches. Just name-wise, not character-wise. Like I said, I used a little bit of. Why does this keep coming like that? Okay, I see. Got the neck here undone. Each of the characters carry a little bit of a personality for me, or some personality that I run into a lot. As case with Demon Blade and Witchin. And I mean, Tattoo's very and Demon Blade is very much my curiosity to learn, as well as how I acted before I came out. And Mai is very much the old sporty me. Mine's he's tomboyish, but at the same time, he's very active personality. And me these days is not really active physically, as mine would be. And in fact, the next chapter of Demon Blade, it's gonna look a little bit different, because it's gonna be more of a sports comic. instead of the drama, comedy, action that it was. Simply because the story takes place during a homecoming football game. And chaos reigns through the actions of having Mai, Tetsu, and Ino have to play in a game. Having, magical beings playing in a game that's supposed to have rules. Not gonna happen in this one. It's an utter chaotic thing just in the writing. We have drawn it before, but you show it with, it looks like Kirby with googly eyes. Big impressed eyes or shocked eyes. And then again with Megaphone, purple hair, looks like Princess, and Firework, I guess. And I also want to give a shout out to those who started commenting on our stream last night, or not last night, Sunday night, for Undertale. We will be back for Undertale on Friday and Sunday. That's our live streams for gameplay. After tonight, we will be back on Thursday with our anime review. We're going to be doing the complicated family of witches, which is going to be the first fall anime show that we're going to review. That's going to be one of the lesser titles. I need to sit down and watch the next two episodes. I've only watched the first one. Was not a huge fan. I'm hoping the next two episodes will change my mind. But we usually give an anime 3 episodes to try and impress us. And, well, so far, out of the year, this is sort of the downward slope of anime I've seen in this year, because a lot of anime this year has been huge hit and amazing art, and we kind of covered that last Thursday with covering the shows Mr. Cat is Depressed Again Today and the Spellblades, 7 Spellblades. So, yeah, definitely gonna be something different. But that's why we have the show. Our anime review show, Lesser Look, is to look at the shows that are probably just crap. Alright, we have Bear and a present from the soap. And I don't know if it's pizza or donut. Try and do some triangles here for the chip. I also want to have some gooey mixed here. This is nachos. It's a cauldron, so we're gonna give it that cauldron look. It's always fun to kind of come up with some unusual places, be it based in realism or based in just pure fantasy or science fiction or whatever, completely made up. Like I said, I do take more time on Demon Blade because it's more detailed. I do release the series in print publication, as book 1 is currently available on Amazon. You can get your copy there and get chapters 1 through 6 in book 1. And of course the next one will be chapters 7 through 12. So we're doing them basically in 6 chapter increments. So yeah, well, yeah, there's Demon Blight for people. See, but I want to try and. Do I have? No, I don't have her, do I? I gotta open a new page. Alright, we're gonna open a new page of witches. I need one. Do I have one? This has gotta be one of them. I gotta have a page with, yeah, there she is, Abigail. So I need her color scheme. Particularly her skin and hair colors. Well, I mean, her hair is black, so. Race-wise, I would guess Abigail. I mean, she's supposed to be Asian, but I don't know. I don't want to make her Japanese. I'm trying to think maybe a little bit of Chinese in ethnicity. So I gave her more of a orangish, yellowish skin tone. Skull. Now that's definitely curvy with the eyes, and now we're getting the sound wave pattern here coming up. Well, I got Twitch to work properly with the chat. Now if I can just get YouTube to work properly in the chat. Since we do this on both streams platforms. Having the two right there show off the chat. Something I love of what we built at our time away to do for the chat. Okay, there's the. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the untitled illustration here. We don't need that anymore. Just don't say. Okay. And Abigail's got this sort of grayish shadow tone. I mean, that's one thing when you design a comic, especially if you're doing it color. I mean, even if you're doing it black and white or gray tones like I do with Demon Blade, use different skin tones. Don't make it all one skin tone. Not just race-wise, but I mean, even if you're doing like aliens, use different skin tones. I mean, some will have a brighter color. I mean, both Ida and Tetsu have this lighter skin. Mine does have a little bit of a yellowish skin, but I think her goes more orange and shadow off the top of my head. And Ino kind of mimics her sister, so. That one is other stuff. Alright. Wendling gave us an octopus, cat on fire, moving cat paw, dancing person. The skull also gave us a dancing person. And we got Relic with definitely 3 baby Yodas. And is that Neapolitan from Ruby? Can't really tell. And then it looks like a magical mouse girl? Not entirely sure. Let's see, we're about to hit some new costumes. Because I think are kind of hit for that. Let me just finish with the shadow on some arm. I'll deal with the finger afterwards. Oh wait, one more spot. Okay, there we go. So yeah. We're hitting the 2-hour mark, so let's get on more creepy costumes here. And we'll hit our third story of the night. Let's pull up these. So that was the end of our last one with the creepy ghost KKK costume. What the heck is that? It looks like... Did they make a mask of their dad? It looks like a really bad businessman. Look. Oh my god, it's weird. Okay, now that's creepy. That is creepy. And the baby can tell you it's creepy. Because the baby's looking at mom and like, what the hell are you doing? I don't know if it's a doll or a baby. It's definitely a doll on the right arm. But the left arm, it looks like a baby. This is obviously a 40s to 30s costume. With the quality of the photograph. It almost looks... I know Wendy's didn't start until much later. It looks like a ripoff of the Wendy's Wendy. But it predates her. And it's just, not a good picture. Not a good picture. Okay. Now, this is some horror. Especially this one right here. This kid. I mean, the hair coming out of the crappily made mask. And this one looks like Scarecrow from Batman. Oh my god. Really, really horrific costume. I think this is a girl. I think both are girls. Oh my god. That's just some creepy stuff, man. I'm tripping. This looks like the oldest unicorn you could ever push. The baby's even a little creeped out. He's like, get me away from this. Somebody take me away from this thing. He's the creepiest unicorn ever. It's the eyes, man. It's the eyes. And his creviced head. Oh my god. Oh. That is horrifying. I have nightmares of that crap. Okay. This one's not creepy. This is just disturbing. The author in the fancy dress is a side of bacon designed by himself, which took first prize as a 40 Guinness at the Covenant Crown Garden Fancy Dress Ball. He dressed as a side of bacon. I can't do with that. I can't. I want to eat his costume. And this was when bacon was good. This is before that they started making that thin crap they make these days. Alright, I can't tell what decade this is, but I mean, it could be anywhere from the 50s all the way up to the 80s if you use a black and white camera then. Clearly, costumes made out of cardboard. I don't know if they were trying to go for the Tin Man, or if they were just trying to go with some weird robot costume. But it screams, I put together this costume this morning. There's supposed to be a cigar? I mean, this is another costume. Oh, we put this together this morning. Type costume. I don't know why anyone would dress up as a freaking cigar. Clearly in the 70s, because we got our bell bottoms here. So this is clearly 70s. Wait. These are costumes? That's this place. I thought they were just far off there. They were dressed as oil. Oh, they squirted oil from their top. Okay, this is among the creepy costumes that you got when I was a kid. I don't understand why anybody would want to have the costumes of the stepmother and the stepdaughters in Cinderella. It's horrible. Why would you dress up like them? They're, you know, creepy enough for Halloween, but I mean, you could do this without a mask. You just need a wig and some makeup. That's it. I mean, the dresses, yeah, you'd have to probably get them either made from scratch or buy them. But why the plastic mask? Okay, this one, I don't know what's going on here. He's got the eye mask, so it's not even like a full mask. It looks like he got beat up or something under here, and the stripes are going weird. And then this is supposed to, I guess, be Uncle Sam, but it's like the weirdest looking Uncle Sam I've ever seen in my life. And Uncle Sam's supposed to be like this tall, skinny guy. This is a short, fat Uncle Sam. Not calling your kid fat. It's just the way that Sam looks in this case. Both the two costumes are clearly made together. And you almost lose where one costume ends and the next one begins. Okay, we're gonna go through the rest of these here. And that's what we'll do. So, it's supposed to be the witch from Wizard of Oz, but I think from the book instead of the movie. Or maybe it's just a witch in general. The creepy, huge eyebrow witch with a mop hair. I guess it's supposed to be a black cat. I do like that they put the broom on the bike to make it look like they're on the broom. But if you've ever tried to ride a bike with a skirt on, not happening. It's really, really hard because it's gonna get snagged. You gotta have pants when you wear a bike or when you're on a bike. Yeah. Again, the trash bag plastic with the screen print. Well, not only why the Village People, but this was the biker. This was the gayest character in the Village People. This is the one that wears the assless chips. Seriously? Why? Okay. I'm impressed with the pumpkins around in the background. That's cool. They're obviously very large pumpkins. But the mask does have a creepiness, but it's nowhere near as creepy as some of the ones we've seen tonight. This is tame. This is tame. Well, this one is not. Clearly, I don't know what they were going for. This is supposed to be, I guess, Teddy Roosevelt? I don't understand this. We got a ghost with a pretty good skeleton mask. Give him that. That's a great mask, and given the time. I'm guessing these are pigs right here. They got the short, stubby ears, and it looks like a snout. Maybe a pirate back here. I have no idea what that is. I'd say a gruff fisherman. I want to say a wizard. I don't even know if this is not the same part of this ghost. But gee. So I think this is the right one. Yeah, we've been seeing some creepy costumes tonight. This is just, it's the dead-eyed stare again. A lot of mess with the dead-eyed stare. And then a dark-faced bartender or something? I don't know. Okay. Not bad. Great skull mask. The creepiness, I think, is the fact that he's carrying around a bat. Yeah, it's a bit more intimidating when you carry a weapon. Okay. This is somebody clearly that has a farm, and they threw their costume together literally last minute. They wrapped themselves in corn stalks to look like a corn stalk bundle. I mean, it's on the cheap end of costumes. Clearly. Maybe if this was late 70s, early 80s, we could make a Children of the Corn reference. They're not blonde-haired. What the? Again with the onesies. And the fat. You can't tell if the kid's fat or if they put a pillow in there. But the sunken eyes and that nose. Something's creepy there. Wow. Okay, these are decent masks. These are probably really well crafted bought masks before they started doing the garbage bag costume. Because it definitely looks like cloth of some sort. Probably some cheap polyester or something. Deformed Hobo and Angry Witch. Yeah, it works. I wouldn't say creepy on this one. Alright. I'm more creeped out if this woman's head is so tiny. I mean, her chin's here and her top of her head's here. Yet her arm is almost the size of her entire head. And then she puts on this cat mask? I'm worried about the woman. This is hand of the mask. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The circus clown that doesn't have the face of Rip Taylor. Yes. Very much. Those who don't know, Rip Taylor was a comedian of some sort. I don't remember. But he'd go around to concerts and tell some jokes, throw stuff in the audience. And he had this weird glasses with sort of outwardly hooked mustache. And I even think he had a little bit of buck teeth, but he definitely had round cheeks. And again, this is sort of the clown costume my brother was in. It's when we were kids. Yeah, definitely homemade Scream there. This is definitely 90s. This is 90s, my friend. Yes, we finally got a 90s. Skeleton makeup, and same with the kid. It's not really a mask. Definitely Tim Burton inspired. It says Tim Burton is a young man, obviously. Except for this is definitely in the 90s. I can tell this is in the 90s. Because we're not in the trash bag. It's like a sewn costume. But yeah, come the 90s, that's when we started having kids come out that were just like, screw it, I'll just put some makeup on and just wear clothes and just be like, oh, I'm dressed in Halloween. And then of course later started getting them, they wouldn't even put on a costume, but they said, oh, we're going trick-or-treating. Yeah. I'm more impressed with the costume than I am creeped. Although the fairy's on the, I guess, staff. It's cool, but I'm kind of impressed. Clearly, it's gotta be at least 70s. Because it's got plastic elements, it looks like. But definitely kind of more impressive than creepy. Alright. This looks like early 80s to 70s. Clearly a racist Chinese costume. I guess it's supposed to be a hobo, clown. I don't know if this is supposed to be a superhero. What this is supposed to be. But this is clearly a racist Chinese costume. Okay. This is creepy in all sense of the word. And this is dated 1990. Yeah, 90s, we started getting weird. That's when the sexy costume started. But seeing a grown man in a diaper with a bottle, a teddy bear, wrapped in plastic? I don't know if this is available to be on stream. This is just, the guy disturbs me more. Oh my god, even a creepy smile. I met guys that give me that smile, and it creeps me the heck out. Like, hey babe, don't you like my costume? Okay, that's creepy. We'll hit the story at the 9:30 mark. So let's get back to our art. We'll hit our last story. Yeah, I kind of want to pull back up the creepy Ash costume if I can. I'm gonna try and do it here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, just so we can end the night with probably one of my favorite creepy masks of all time. Because creepy Ash Ketchum. Yeah. Nintendo really should have sent that license. And it goes to show that even in this day and era, because it's definitely at least Johto. I don't remember which season this would be. It could have been XY. I don't remember the costumes that much. I know I've drawn it before. I know I stopped watching Pokemon when they hit Johto. Mainly because of I just didn't have the time. I was an adult. So, me having to deal with things like life, I just didn't have the time to sit and watch Pokemon. Plus, while Pokemon's an influential series, it's not that great of an anime. It's really in. And the games are starting to get a little too off, in my opinion. I understand that they're never going to really give us the challenge that we kind of wanted. Because, I mean, when Pokemon came out, I was in college. I was a freshman in college. I played the games in between classes. I played Blue. I still have my copy of Blue. But yeah, I enjoyed the show when I could watch it. Given it was freshman year, I mainly had a set schedule that got me at home by about maybe 5 to 6. And I had a VCR TV so I could record the show and then come home and watch it while I worked on artwork or a college paper. Yeah, I was thinking. It was given about a year later, they were watching Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z in the student commons on the big screen. People were wanting Jerry Springer, but then they switched to Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, and people just shut up. It's like, no, screw it, Jerry. We're watching Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. And that was when it was on Toonami. I mean, I watched Sailor Moon. I watched both Sailor Moon and the early Dragon Ball Z, and even a little bit of the early Dragon Ball. Because they did the first saga of Dragon Ball in dub. A really bad dub. But they did it probably in the late 90s. Here in the US, done by the Ocean Group, I think. Gotta get this fake cheese color that is nachos. Go on. But yeah, I watched the original Sailor Moon when it first aired. In my senior year in high school, I would get up at 5 in the morning, because at 5:30, the show would air. So I'd be up at 5 to get ready and be awake enough to pay attention to Sailor Moon airing at 5:30 in the morning, before I'd have to leave at 6:30 each morning. And I just love it. I was addicted. Wasn't my first anime. Neither of them were my first anime. But I was addicted. For my first anime, I have to always state, I was introduced to anime by the church. With the animes Flying House and Superbook. The church really wanted to kind of indoctrinate kids in the 80s, so they invested. I don't remember which one was purely done for American audiences and which one was done in Japan. But both were Christian anime, and they aired them back in the early 80s. And you can still find them, and some churches still have kids watch them. They're very cheesy. Nothing was wrong about them. It's just, Christian propaganda to kids. not saying propaganda is bad or Christianity is bad. I'm just saying, you know, you're indoctrinating kids into Christianity with an anime. So that's what that was. And then about a year later, Voltron started. So, yeah. Well, I was hooked on Voltron when Voltron came out. We're not talking the DreamWorks. We're talking the original. The one with 7 voice actors, including Peter Cullen in the dub. The original Go line, as it was in Japan. And I didn't get watching Go line until this year. We did do a review of it back in February on our podcast, the podcast I joined in Anime Anticlimax. When we talked about it, they all watched Voltron. I watched Go line. I couldn't see Voltron at the time. I could only watch Go line. But I was more impressed with Go line. I watched a few episodes of Voltron that I could find online. They were horrible. And you realize the dub had 7 actors total. 1 female, well, technically 2. One of which I believe was Nancy Cartwright. The other one being Peter Cullen, who is the voice of Optimus Prime a year before he became Optimus Prime. And yeah, you could hear them doing the voices over and over again and be like, nope, same actor, just doing like a different pitch or, a different dialect. I mean, you had Sven. The Chinese dressed Kung Fu master that was from Sweden. I don't know why. Why Sweden? Why Sweden? But, I mean, Sven only lasts 4 or 5 episodes. They did bring him back later in the show in the dub, but in the original sub and Go line, he died. He flat out died. His brother, who is of course the twin, comes and meets the group, but Sven died. Yeah, spoiler for a 1980s released anime. We got one panel here. If we weren't going through all these creepy, I probably would have gotten further at this stage. I put read through it a little bit. No, I mean, it's not like we didn't take some time. Plus, we put more detail in that sandwich. I'm not too picky on the blue I use. I like the black on Abigail. Maybe give a little bit of hint to her purple dye at the back end of her hair. Oh, nope, shoot. That wasn't a pen. Right. Kind of taking the same concept of drawing from Demon Slayer of how to do the hips at the back. Alright. I don't really have time to get started before we get to the story, so we're going to start with Creepy Ass Mask again. We started with it, we're back with it. Creepy Ass Mask. I mean, again, these eyes. these eyes right here being over like part of the eye, it's just, it makes it so much creepier. And then you have the slit will cut your tongue here. And I don't remember, this is X and Y. This has got to be X and Y. This has got to be the X and Y costume of Ash. But yeah, I mean, the outfit looks fine. It's clearly a onesie that you probably tied up in the back. Maybe he has a t-shirt on the back or inside here. But it's cloth. It's not trash bag material. We're not talking the cheap plastic. But the mask is so freaking creepy. Again, I imagine a serial killer coming out after with that thing on. Alright, final story of the day. Weird news. Waiting for it to load. But it's about flamingos in Wisconsin. For those who don't know, Wisconsin's a very northern part of the United States. And tropical birds tend to stay in the south. Particularly around Florida for flamingos. So, flamingos in Wisconsin, I don't know how they got there. Somebody has the directions wrong. 4 flamingos stand by in water on Lake Michigan Beach Friday, September 22nd in Port Washington, Wisconsin. American flamingos spotted Friday at the beach about 25 miles north of Milwaukee. 5 flamingos that showed up on Wisconsin waved along the beach, being attracted by a big crowd of onlookers eager to see the unusual visitors venturing far to their usual tropical setting. American flamingos spotted Friday in Port Washington, about 25 to 40 kilometers north of Milwaukee, marked the first sighting of the species in Wisconsin. I wonder if they escaped from like a zoo or something. Because it makes no sense. They normally wouldn't go that high. They don't like cold weather. And they eat shrimp. Shrimp don't exactly like cold weather. Maybe they were eating some crawfish. Maybe, I have no idea. Drawn to the South Beach, the flamingos. Huge, this is unbelievable. Sighting was unexpected. I'm trying to see if they hypothesized the flamingos were pushed north in late August by strong wind. Okay. So they're saying they flew up because of the hurricanes. Particularly Hurricane Ida. And so they flew that far north? I mean, they could have come to here in Virginia and been warmer. I mean, at least we had swamps. But jeez. Flamingos in Wisconsin. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But it's tamer than the alligator that they tried to bring in a Philly game and the Danish artist who just ran away with the money, as he called the piece of art. Just running away with the money. Alright, well, those are our top stories, as well as our look at the very creepy costumes over the years. I mean, God, this Ash costume's gonna haunt me. It's so creepy. I literally look this stuff up like about an hour before we do these streams. With the exception of the subject topic. But, I mean, some of these, especially the vintage costumes, I have not seen. I'm going into these blind as much as the rest of you are. And, God, That's such a creepy amount of costumes choices. All right. I'm not gonna do the bottom one. We'll do the middle one here. Well, the second one, because there's another middle one, but I didn't even sketch that out yet. But another one of Ida eating her sandwich, trying to converse through the panels. Definitely gonna have to, when I do word balloons, blur words with as she's talking with her mouth full. But I don't blame her. I mean, this is story-wise, element-wise, still the first day in the comic. At about 10 p.m. and Ida would have left like 8 a.m. or so. Right? Actually, probably earlier. Because we're talking about August. She may have left like 6 a.m. And it was established last chapter. They didn't eat. They didn't eat since breakfast. So they're a bit hungry. Ida and Doc are a bit hungry. Doc being her owl, who is also kind of in this image a little. I just, every now and then I like to sneak Doc in just to have a little both love for him and humor sometimes with him. He's very simple to draw. I came up with him literally in a hospital. I was in a hospital last year. I was like, I need Ida to have a familiar. And I was like, well, you know, the typical one's cat. Then I thought of Harry Potter. I think we were watching it one night. And I was like, okay, maybe do an owl. And then I was like, okay, I got a limited number of color pencils. Because I was in a metal ward. Yay. And the color pencils I think I had like 5 or 6. Were blue and purple. So I came up with a midnight blue, which is a rare owl familiar in the world of witching. So the concept of Doc is a magical form of an owl that can change his own look. He has like 9 transformations that are complete, and 2 that he still can't work out. One of which is the cat and the monkey. So he changes into other animals, or insects in the case. Well, technically arachnid with a spider. That was shown in chapter 2. Apple. Oh. I don't know. It's flipping out here. The apple pen. Alright. I don't know why the apple pen's acting up. Not even a year old. And it's fully charged. Because I charged it before coming on stream. If you're watching now, you wanted to see the art streams without all the weird chat interruptions. We do Dining and Doodles, and that's also a request show. So we don't do our comics those nights. Instead, we do what's usually requested by a fan. We have 4 currently set up on the stream schedule to do. I know we're going to be doing a vampire character, but a little bit of a different take on a vampire that somebody requested. That's going to be Saturday. I got a little schedule book to keep track of with what I'm drawing that evening. And like I said, we do them in 2 hours. We do run it for 3 hours, mainly if I want to keep doing something on it, or if there's something else I want to draw in conjunction. But yeah, Tiny and Doodles, far more interactive. So if any of you all have a request for something to be drawn, as long as it's approved by YouTube or Twitch, so no nudes, sorry. We can do nudes off stream, but we can't do nudes on stream. But yeah, we have our rules involved. But yeah, put in your requests. You can do it in the chat here or later in the comment section if you're watching this later. You can check it out then. And basically you can just say, you know, I want this character drawn. Try to make it not so complicated, but at the same time, you can ask for, you know, multiple characters, but asking for a full-on scene. We don't do comics on that stream, even though I'm doing comics here. These do take time to make up and work out the ideas. So it's not like I'm coming in these blind. I've designed and sketched out these. I have the story written, so I know where the story's going and how to do the layout. So that's why I don't do comics on the stream for requests, because it's just too time consuming to do it. Plus, that's definitely a commission, which is why I've got the commission that kept jumping in here with the guy in the pajama pants with no shirt on, jumping out of bed. But let's do it around here. Alright. We have a lot easier time getting color now that she's already on here. Although, yeah, leaving big gaps like that, not good. A little easier these days now, since, I mean, we're running this off an iPad, if y'all couldn't tell, which is why we also have the iPencil. I would prefer a regular stylus, our stylus, and an actual artist tablet, but we go with what we got. We've been using a Wacom bamboo. I mean, originally bamboo, before they started calling them Intuos. But it broke. It finally died. I mean, it was over 12 years, so it was bound to die. Heck, I mean, I was drawing the original Demon Blade for Webtoon. I haven't drawn that. That was the 2013 version of Demon Boy. Penguin is perfect in that, but the story more so is now. The one, if you tune into the current ones, if you the older ones, you might, with the 2013, you might see some of the story, most of the story, it's still following. But it's far more in-depth, far more detailed these days, far more character development, all that kind of stuff. I think I can't tell if it's brown. Yeah, it's brown. There we go. I browned it. Not too worried with the talisman that she wears. I can give that away. This is not really story filler. Ida's talisman, as she is not really a she. She is a he. That's disguised himself as a she to go to college, hidden away from the parents. The talisman in the Witching universe is basically your family crest, but it can change how it looks, but it has to be of nature of the family. And Ida's looks that way because it used to be an owl. The Webwood talisman that Theodore would wear around his neck was an owl. And so they converted the owl's face into an apple, which is the Wansdale crest. So going under the disguise as Ida Wansdale. Ida Wansdale, she basically hides her family crest by donning the Wansdale crest. I mean, there's gonna be other witches. I mean, made a witch. I haven't really thought of her crest. I know her familiar's a cat. It's a big, fat, pudgy cat. A little bit of a calico, I think. So we might see him, not in this chapter, but definitely later chapters. As May's cat will come into view and interactions with Doc. I almost want to have an entire chapter of just the familiars that are going to be at play, having a day. No actual words, just an event going on of action of these familiars having some kind of event occur. Something silly. I mean, that's the idea of witching. The idea of witching, while it's much about finding yourself, discovering yourself, is the overall story. The story is set up to be humorous. There's going to be some drama, a little bit of action. I know I have at least 2 sorcery battles planned. With characters I have yet to introduce publicly, so I don't want to go into detail with them. Yeah, I mean, when you create a series, it helps to flesh out both your characters and your world, and figuring things out. How does this world work? Is it strange? Is it unusual? And I mean, basically, the magic worlds both in Demon Blade and Witchen are kind of similar, where they're behind a veil from humans. Witchen more takes over, like, different parts of our world. So it's just like, okay, there's a section of the United States that's under the witch's veil. So it'd be where magical creatures, witches, mages, warlocks, and such live and work. While there'd be the human, normalized people on the other side. And they very much understand and know about the two veils on each side in Witchen. So it's not like it's a big secret. Demon Blade is a secret. Magical creatures have gone in hiding, and it's mainly because the premise of the Demon Blade. That the creation of the Demon Blade made magical creatures go into hiding. Because it was said to be able to destroy them. So yeah, they fear the Demon Blade, so it's a little more, like I said, a little more detailed, and I try to be creative when I show realms of magic in Demon Blade. We've only really seen one at this moment, which is my and Eno's home domain, which is sort of built on this hexagonal collection of towers and rocks over a waterfall with this town on top of it, built in with a sort of concave meteor strike area in the middle, being the gate that I drew in episode 2? Or no, episode 3 of the current iteration. Because I didn't go too much in detail in the 2013 version of my and Eno's life until their father was in and active in the game, or in the comic. A little bit of mine to explain, the formation of the blade, but not too much details that were given. And then, Tetsu's backstory was completely ignored in the 2013, because I didn't want to give away up until a certain point. But now, it's all out there. Well, most of it. It's still the big secret for Tetsu, but the fact that Tetsu's trans and come out publicly about it a little bit. Not really hide it. When they go into Petra mode, which is the female version, they really don't hide away their face. Because even before you have Tetsu showing up with shirts on, blouses, once it's known that Tetsu dresses up. But I also know it's because Mai likes to torment him that way. So. We're about at the end of the night. I'm going to try and finish this panel up real quick. Just gotta get dark, and I think I'm gonna have to go to an image from last chapter to get to Doc. Artwork. Why? Let's go. I know where to get one. We'll open up the Doc sticker that we did. And yes, it's a joke about Doctor Who. That the owl's called Doctor. Or Doc, as he's referred to most of the time. Okay. Okay. There we go. And I don't even need to grab the purple elsewhere because it's the same purple that's on everything else. Wait. We need to do background art. Even a simple one, just quick enough. And we'll deal with details maybe later. If we got the time. Because the chairs they're in are this shade of red. So it's not that big of a deal. Doc's purple tone. There we go. Got 2 panels done. It's not too bad. I mean, I do wish I probably got further, but we did have to sketch out and re-sketch out the top panel to get what we were gonna draw out. And we got to the details of the sandwich and the chips. They take a little bit of time out of the day. But yeah, I mean, 3 hours doing these 2 panels. Not my best in time, but hey, we kept taking stops to do our stories and cover the topic at hand of the creepy costume. And I do want to thank everyone who's joined in the chat. It's easy for me to follow because I'm just going to scroll up on this Twitch chat here and give a shout out to each of them. So, Arapa, Inzekam Charme, Wildling, King's Murder, Descult, Relic 60760. Thank you all for joining in chatting and tuning in on Twitch. I definitely know we probably have a larger audience on Twitch tonight than YouTube. But I welcome all from all platforms that goes on, because this does generate onto Rumble as well after the stream's done. So yeah, thank you all for joining in tonight, joining in the chat. I hope you all enjoyed some of the weirdness that we've shared tonight, as well as a little bit of the comic drawing. So we'll be able to do this again next week. I haven't chosen the topic yet, but I will come up with one probably in the next day or 2. But until then, I definitely want to thank you all for joining. We got to give a shout out first to Built Bar. We get sponsored by Built Bar. We went to them for sponsorship because, damn it, their bars are good. And in fact, I'm going to read off. I'm going to turn down the volume of the music here. I'm going to read off a text they sent me literally 30 minutes before the stream. So, they are now introducing the following new flavors. 8 new flavors to build from. Strawberries and cream puff. So it's sort of a marshmallowy bar, but it's strawberries and cream. Milk chocolate covered molten lava cake. White chocolate peanut butter, and a few more. So let's see if I can find out what these other flavors are. So we've got raspberry cheesecake with a molten white chocolate peanut butter, pumpkin cookie, red velvet cream, and strawberries and cream, fruity cereal. So I'm guessing sort of like pebbles, fruity pebbles. Because it kind of looks like that's what it is in the picture. Cinnamon bun. All those new flavors are now available. And they're wonderful protein bars, but are even better, great replacements for candy bars. If you love to get that little hit of candy, want a bit of sugar, this is a great way to do it because it's only 4 grams of sugar in the bars, and it's real chocolate. It's about the size of a Milky Way. The puffs are more marshmallow-like. The regular bars are a bit more like nougat. And then we also, I don't know how many are left of the crisp bars. I hope they come back with them because they were like a Kit Kat, a giant Kit Kat. And they taste just like it because it's real dark chocolate. But, well, I mean, some of them are white chocolate nowadays, but there's all the real flavors. Far less calories that you'll find in a candy bar. A lot of protein, usually 17 grams or up in the protein, because it is a protein bar. With low sugar, low fat, high fiber too. So definitely, wonderful bars. Go to built.com, use the code EmbryoArts, and you will get 10% off your order on top of any sale that they have going. So if they have a sale going for 10% off already, you get 20% off if you use the promo code. That is a great way to save on these things. And I swear, I eat these things like crazy. I may have stomach issues, but these are still on my menu. I can still eat them, and I love them. So, yeah. Go to built.com, promo code EmbryoArts, get yourself some Built Bars. And with that, we're going to call it for the night. We'll be back on Thursday, like I said. We're going to be talking about Let's Your Look for Thursday. And we will be doing the anime. Let me make sure I get this name properly. Down here. So we have the fall anime. Where is it? Oh, there's Mal. There's Mal. I don't know why Mal wasn't at the top of the list there. Alright. We are going to be reviewing... Where is it? I know it started before then. Why am I not seeing it? Imminence of Shadow. We're not reviewing Imminence of Shadow. Let's look. We basically look at smaller seasons, smaller shows. My alarm. Trying to go down to non-listed date, but update 10/5. Okay. Let's go down to Crunchyroll because this one's on Crunchy. Crunchyroll. All right. Should be in the F's, but it's not. Trying to find, because apparently they labeled it under the Japanese title. Now I'm trying to find the American version of the title. Where is it? I believe it's... damn it. It's the Witch Family. It's about a very, very sexual looking young witch raised by a very child-like witch. And we will be reviewing it. What am I doing? I already have it listed. I already have a thumbnail. Let me pull it up. I'll just pull into my computer and find the thumbnail. Oh. No. I need to do those. Let's run. Okay. Nope. Alright. It is Family Circumstances of, let's see, it's a long title. And I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Family Circumstances of an Irregular Witch is the name of the title. Small anime. Probably not a good anime. I did not like the first episode. We got 2 more episodes to watch, but they're out now, so we're making it our first. But yeah, that'll be our first review of the new season. And see you then on Thursday at 8 p.m. when we review Family Circumstances of an Irregular Witch. Alright, thank you all for joining in, and have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night.